correct for shaking. But for faraway shots, the transversal axis, or the two new axis, is actually essential. Right? Basically, when you're trying to frame a shot, you might move your device around, and you're not actually shaking, you're just moving the device around. But as you do this, you can get blur in your photos. Right? So the 4-axis OIS corrects for all of that movement, and it's particularly powerful when you're taking photos in a low light scenario. Really, really important for low light photography, but also for moving objects and things like that. And of course, especially if you don't have steady hands. So it's a really big tech breakthrough here. Another important Heikaji that we've implemented as part of MI5. This is my favorite video of the entire presentation, and I might even play it twice because it's awesome. Take a look. This is showing 4-axis OIS. That's really cool, right? Now here's a trick. So when you go play with MI5 outside later, so go into the camera app, obviously with the rear camera on, and face it against yourself, and like shake it or move it around. And if you pay really close attention, you can actually see the camera moving. It's actually amazing to watch because it's really subtle, and it's almost hard to believe how well it compensates for both rotational movement or shakes as well as transversal movements. It's potentially the best demo that I could show you. So it's kind of hard to shake off OIS. Let's keep going. Okay, I want to make a few brief comments about the camera sensor itself. MI5 ships with a really advanced camera sensor. It's the Sony IMX298. In fact, MI5 is one of the first devices in the world to ship with this particular sensor. It's a 16 megapixel sensor. It supports phase detection autofocus, which is a new approach to autofocus that's basically faster than the blink of an eye. It's at around 0.3 seconds. And more importantly, it's our first camera featuring DTI. DTI stands for Deep Trench Isolation, and it's a technology that basically separates pixels by adding a wall in between pixels. It prevents light from leaking. Here you can actually see a leak scenario where one pixel sees the light that was supposed to go to the other pixel. DTI separates all of this so that you get really clean color separation. You get purer colors. You get better reds, better greens, better blues, and you can really see the comparison here. So this just gives you better looking photos that look much more photorealistic. Like this is about color matching and photorealism. Part of this effect, of course, is also achieved by the ISP, the image processor on the device. You can think of the image processor as the CPU for the camera. It's what really makes the camera work in real time. MI5 uses the Qualcomm Spectra ISP, which is also part of Snapdragon 820 package. And it does a lot of stuff, including color enhancement, low light enhancement, the skin color compensation, etc. And of course, it also does 4K video, as you'd expect. This is not a 4K display, so you're not seeing all the beauty of the video that MI5 can record, but it does really high quality 4K video. Talking briefly next about the front camera. MI5 are using the same front camera we have on Mi Note, which is a 2-micron large size 4 megapixel front camera. So this gives you really high level of detail, and it works extraordinarily well because of the large pixels in the low light scenario. People really think that the Mi Note camera is amazing for selfies, so of course we just took that camera and we are now using it on the Mi5. Not too long ago, that was the camera that a lot of phones actually, or a few high-quality phones used as their rear camera, to be clear. I guess you guys know this pretty well. So we've put this camera into now a 5-inch form factor as well. So here's the Mi5 camera roundup. It's a 16 megapixel sensor, 4-axis OIS, and it's especially awesome that we have this on a 5-inch device. DTI light leakage protection. I didn't even talk about the fact that we have sapphire glass lens, which I didn't even mention. And then 4K video support, large 2-micron front camera as well. So it's a really amazing camera package, like nothing you've ever seen. Display. I'll say a few things about the display as well. So first of all, when you look at this, it looks like there's no bezel. It looks like it's a borderless display. But actually, there are no truly borderless displays. That's a myth. There are no bezel-free phones in existence. In reality, the bezel necessarily has to have these 3 parts, and you can squeeze them as much as you can, but they will continue to exist. So Mi5 uses what the industry sometimes calls a borderless display, but I don't think that's true. It's just a very, very thin bezel, the thinnest you'll find on any phone. So it's a really ultra-thin bezel, and it looks extremely elegant, as you guys can see here. A ton of cool features also on the Mi5 display, which I won't cover in too much detail. For example, I'm not going to talk about reading mode. I'm not going to talk about night display. These are features that we can tell you more about later. We've been investing a lot into display technology, by the way. As a side note, last year we filed 3,600 patents.